7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to PTZOptics Live. Today we have with us Michael Upshaw from Livestream TV. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing well, Paul. Great to be with you.
I'm so excited to have you here. Let me brief you guys on this special church streaming episode. Today we're going to be talking about an amazing church transformational giveaway that we're going to be launching today. So I want you guys to get prepared for this. It's going to be really fun. We're going to be giving away a complete multi-camera live streaming system to one church streamer. But first, today's episode is going to be about the big picture for church streaming. Where have we come from and where are we going? So we're going to talk about what's next for church streaming with Michael Upshaw today. We're going to go over a brief history. Where did this all start? You know, now we're looking at mega churches with gigantic budgets and multiple cameras and microphones, and it looks like a giant concert or performance. Where did we start from? When did this start happening? What is next for church streaming? This church transformational project, we are going to transform one church in the United States that really needs help getting themselves together for live streaming their amazing church services. So what we decided to do was put together a giveaway where churches with 250 or less active members can enter in the United States to win a full PTZ camera, multiple camera streaming system from us, and it's going to be given away at the WFX show. So I'm really, really excited about it. The rules are simply you must be in the USA. You must have 300 active members or less, and you must be present during the November 15th live stream on Facebook or YouTube to claim your prize. If the church is not there, you can actually come in and maybe be the follow-up winner and actually claim the prize like we do on our normal giveaways here on PTZOptics live shows, as we're going to do today. Now, the giveaway streaming technology includes a super fast Intel NUC computer, which you can put any live streaming software on there, but we're going to include a free license of Wirecast, and Tom Sinclair has also said that he'll include a free copy of vMix. So not only are you going to get 2 PTZ cameras like you're seeing here, pan, tilt, zoom, optical zoom cameras, perfect for your churches. We're going to give you 100 foot of cabling. We are going to give you the camera mounts. New Tech has said that they will actually give you NDI licenses to help with that integration. And X-Keys has decided to give away an X-Keys controller to make that even easier. StreamSpot has pitched in to give a free year of premium streaming. And actually a lot more manufacturers that we're talking to right now, because we've got 3 months until this is going to be given away, are jumping on board to be part of this awesome church transformational giveaway. In fact, Daryl Eves is going to be part of that as well. We'll talk about all of this and more later, but I just wanted to let you know, if you are a technology manufacturer out there, contact us and be part of this, because we want to help a church that could really use this technology and spread the message of God. Michael today is the CEO of Livestream TV, and he's going to tell us what he sees out there in the church streaming market and really help us have this conversation today. Technology for churches is going to be one of the topics that Michael's going to tell us about, what technology he recommends and what he thinks that churches should really know about before they make a purchasing decision. And we're going to talk about working with contributors, and that means getting digital donations. Are there families that cannot reach your church service because they're traveling that weekend? Are there people who have moved away or want to connect with your church but aren't quite ready yet? How can we stir up online contributions? And Michael has some really cool ideas on that as well. Finally, Michael's going to tell us about delivery platforms. Is YouTube and Facebook the best place to start? I think so, but there's also other options that will broaden your reach, and Michael's going to tell us about that as well. So without further ado, let's bring Michael on and have a fun conversation about church streaming. All right, Michael, that's a lot for you to digest there, but tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do over at Livestream TV.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you, and thanks for the great introduction. I'm glad to be here with you all today, and I'm the president of Livestream TV, and what I do day to day is I look for opportunities not only for Livestream to connect with organizations such as yours with PTZOptics, but also to connect the churches that we work with companies such as yours. When we think about streaming and we think about all the things that's gone into it, we've been involved in this industry. Personally, I've been involved in this industry since 2005. And we've been around since 2007. And so one of the things that we've learned is from cameras to switching to all the different nuts and bolts that goes into it, churches have a lot of decisions to make, and many of them have to make those decisions based on budget. And so when we look at that, we also want to make sure that while they're making that decision on their budget, that they also see a return on the investment that they're making in the equipment, not just a return in the quality of their output, but also by what they can do in terms of what comes back into the church to support the actual stream, the online broadcast, and the connection into each one of these digital communities.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm glad you were able to kind of give us a little brief on who you are and what you do over there. Let's take a step back and briefly help us understand, when did all this start? When did all this streaming in churches start? And tell us a little bit about who are the big names in church streaming that are doing it well, and what are they doing?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So when we go back to about 2000, 2001, that's about the time that we begin to see churches start to stream. In fact, one of the components of that was back then you didn't have all of the technology and things like that. So really, a lot of churches that were streaming at that time were a lot of the larger churches, because they already had the production equipment. They already had, good bandwidth situation, which back then a good bandwidth situation was a T1 connection. And so many of them had a dedicated T1, which cost an arm and a leg to have, for them. But we look at it from the standpoint of, from that period till now, how it's grown. So some of the big names of churches that are streaming, or even organizations that you'll see, on our platform, we have churches from all over. We handle the content for a couple church TV platforms as well, such as Golden Eagle Broadcast and Impact Television Network. Bishop Charles Blake, who's the presiding bishop of the Kojic Church of God in Christ organization. And many of them, a church in Nigeria that has over 20,000 plus members. So when we look at, churches collectively and all over, and where it started from, starting very early on in the early 2000s. This is where we have come today, to where now there's multiple platform distribution. I believe YouTube came around somewhere around like 2005, if I'm not mistaken. And at that time, it was just on-demand type content. Now you can do live streaming and connect with companies like ours who integrate into each of these platforms, sort of giving you one button to push, but multiple distribution into each one of those platforms. So historically, I've had an opportunity to talk to some of the church pioneers of streaming, some names that if I was to throw out, you may not know, but a gentleman named by the name of Rodney Sampson really got the ball rolling within the church community as it relates to streaming, and that was early 2000. In fact, I'll be meeting with him on Tuesday, or this coming week, Monday, to talk to him about some of those things, and actually having him on our show, Digital Dominion, to talk about those very things. So I would say stand by, because we're going to go through some of that history of the church and streaming and how it all began.
Cool. Well, that's great to know. In fact, I have here a little picture that we've been asking people about that says, does live streaming your services help your church? And it's a question that I think we should just tackle right off the bat. And we're getting some feedback from our audience here. Joel's saying, yes, I think live streaming for churches is a great tool, especially for small churches. We started live streaming during once a year convention, and then they moved from once a year to streaming every Sunday. And it's great to let new people experience their church before they actually come to service. and help people who are unable to still stay in attendance. But I wanted to ask you, Michael, I know a lot of churches are a little bit worried about live streaming their church services because they wonder if it's going to keep people from actually attending. Can you address that? Because I know that
Absolutely.
must come up quite a bit for churches.
Comes up in just about probably 1 out of every 3 conversations. And one of the things that we talk about with that is the importance of understanding your audience. And you cannot stream and expect people to show up, or you can allow the church next door to stream and they just make a connection to them. One of the things that we always recommend is that you do a survey to your online audience to sort of find out why they connect with your church on either platform, whether it's digital or whether they have physical attendance. The thing with churches making a decision not to stream, a lot of times it's based on having butts in seats, right? People that you can physically see. But if you launch an online pastor and you put together an online campus where you can actually touch those people, what we found is that they receive the same benefit, and then you have a real connection to the people that goes beyond just them watching or consuming a service on Sunday morning. And so really those are the things that you have to think about and sort of dive a little deeper. So if you're not really surveying your online audience, really talking to them and engaging them in that way, then really you don't know whether or not you have participants or potential members. And that's really what you want to find out. You want to find out what you really have. And so with working with a platform such as Livestream TV, one of the things that we do is we help you structure those things so that you can get the maximum input from your online audience, and then that way you know who you're connecting with. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because many of churches that are streaming, especially on a lot of the other platforms, one of the things that I always recommend is to benchmark your viewership, not just in terms of views, but also look at how long they're staying connected. If you're streaming, on Facebook, make sure you're looking at the analytics to tell you, if they're watching with the audio on, or if it's off, or how many seconds, what your longest viewership is. So this way you recognize what your audience development looks like, as opposed to just launching it out there. I believe that no one should ever stream a service without having some type of format in mind once you go live. And Paul, just like doing this show today, you have a format, you have a purpose, you have a reason, and you measure the statistics of your broadcast so that you know that you're connecting with an audience and that the audience is connecting back to you. Would you say?
Wow. No, I think that's a very important part of understanding how to be effective, and I'm glad you brought that up. Just want to bring up a couple comments here. Kevin saying his church has seen a large growth rate of in-house attendance since they started live streaming, and we've asked new members why they chose their church to attend, and potentially it was because of the live stream. So I think that it really does have a lot to do with getting the message out, getting it out into the world. Another member here watching the show says, Adam Riley saying, at our church, Sunday school teachers love the stream and the recording so they don't feel like they're missing anything while they're with the kids. And I think that's a big part of church streaming, and the reason why we're doing this is because not everybody can attend, but there are so many people who don't want to miss out. And then one other comment here, Norman Watson is saying his extended congregation, which is I think a good way of putting this, is twice as large as those who actually attend, and most of those viewers are from Africa, Middle East, and they stream all of their services. So just wanted to give you some of the feedback. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at some of these comments, but I will be displaying them on the screen. So that brings us to our next portion of the show. I did want to share this link here, PTZOptics.com/church-makeover. That's where, if you're interested in joining our giveaway, that's where you can get in there. And then Michael's website, Lifestream TV. So Michael, our next topic here is just staying on board here, technology for churches. So we talked about making the viewers part of the experience. How does the technology that you recommend help churches create a live stream, a video production that brings the audience in so that they maybe potentially feel like they're there and speaking to an online audience like that?
Absolutely. One of the key components to doing that is to offer what I call to actions, right? So with software like vMix, and we're a partner of vMix as well, it allows the church to be able to create lower thirds, to promote their online giving platforms, to allow people to connect in that way, to do forms. One of the things that we found through the mobile apps that we do as people are streaming live is we have a mobile app that allows people to not only stream and watch the content, but they can fill in the blanks and take notes and send notes and communicate right back with the church. And so when you have somebody in place on Sunday morning to be able to facilitate that, or especially like during Bible study or Sunday school, what that does, it gives people an opportunity to be extended the communication that's offered by the church, not just one-dimensional, but now it becomes two-dimensional. And so now they can engage the church in that way, not only from being able to donate and give, but also to be able to provide input or to submit information about themselves. One of the things about growing an online platform that I think is important is how you connect to that community and learning more about them and how to serve their needs. And the more you do that, that's how you grow internally, as one of the comments was, because you made a connection with that person so much so that they wanted to come and to participate in the service. We had a situation where there was a lady from Germany who traveled all the way to the U.S. to go visit a church in Maryland just because she had been watching them for a number of years online. And she wanted to come and experience that service and went. She had an opportunity to meet with the pastor and the leadership staff and everything like that. And we have churches who have more people engaging them online than they do in their physical congregation on Sunday morning. But they're engaging them with content, and they're able to respond back in a way that allows them to be able to know that they're being touched by the internal church.
Wow. And Michael, I'm getting a lot of comments here. I think that's been my main job here, is just reading these off to you. Daniel Wright saying that there's also another benefit to live streaming, which is they actually get to record the video content, whether it be a funeral or a wedding. So not only is the technology used for live streaming and outreach, but I guess they're actually using it to record. And it sounds as though they also have a system in place that allows them to show the service live in potentially other parts of the church, meaning like an overflow room or a space. So a lot of this technology pulls in together, and it's really multi-purpose. It's not necessarily just for streaming. It can be used for recording and distance learning, if you will. But our next topic, which is what we're going to have to end on because we're really running out of time here, is tell us about working with contributors. And we will have a post show, everybody. So after our 20-minute webinar, we'll go to our Twitch channel and we can answer questions and we'll do our giveaway. But the last question I have for you, Michael, working with contributors, as you call them, or getting digital donations. I know there's a new platform called, I believe it's called Gively. Can you tell us a little bit about that strategy and how it's been effective for churches?
Absolutely. Givelify is a mobile app platform and one of our partners. And one of the things about Givelify is it allows people to connect to your church that may be in your local area or may not be in your local area. And they can actually download the app and they can become a partner with you in ministry, and they can sow into your ministry or donate into your ministry without having to go online or click on a button or anything like that. And so being on Givelify gives you an additional outlet. And one of the ways that the CEO refers to it is sort of like Uber. When they're ready to give, they can just go there, give, participate, and become a partner. And they can even do recurring giving into your ministry through that particular app. And so one of the significant benefits to that, why he started the app and how he came up with it, was he was in church, wanted to give, and only had $3 in his pocket, and looked for an app that would allow him to do that. And that's how that technology came about. And so it came about from his personal experience. And Givelify in 2019, we were talking recently, he said that they will reach over $1 billion in transactions. And it's a free service to the church as well. And so it doesn't cost you any monthly or contractual situation to get involved. And so if you have an opportunity, take a look at Givelify. and get more information.
Okay, let me see if we can show that up on the screen. If we can't, we'll definitely leave a link to this and post it on the Coach Show. So GiveLify, GiveLify.com seems like a great thing for churches to look into. Thank you so much, Michael. Everybody stick around for an amazing post-show where we're going to get a chance to really dig into some of these topics with Michael. I think we've got a lot of great stuff. And then finally, I would implore you to enter our giveaway. And one of the things you can do is you can go to our Facebook page and answer this question. Let people know what you think. Does live streaming your services help your church? Yes or no? We heard a lot from people out there in the comments, really, letting us know what they think. And then join that church makeover. We want a church that really deserves it. Whether you've got live streaming equipment today or not, this is a great way to boost your video production and be able to create an amazing live stream and spread the message of God. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the post show in just a moment. Michael's going to come there with us and answer your questions.